we are going to talk about Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom thinks he's going to run for president. Gavin Newsom clearly has intentions of running for president. Gavin Newsom is the scum of the earth. I mean, the thing is, I wonder on a personal level, I'm sure he's a nice individual who cheats on his spouses and only apologizes for it when he gets caught. I'm sure on an individual basis, on a one-on-one, he's very nice and very friendly. Probably. When I met Kimberly Guilfoyle a couple of times, they used to be married. I couldn't understand that. And then apparently he's a nice guy, Gavin. Political scum of the earth, absolutely inept, absolutely incompetent. Arguably, but not arguably, racist. Did you guys see the video? It's so flipping bad. I meant to talk about it the other day, but it's like it felt like gossip. But now I get to merge the gossip with a little bit of law. He's talking. I say before a crowd that's, I guess, oriented to the black community, and he says something that is so effing racist and so effing insulting. Like, it's like, okay, I in this same speech, he's talking about how he doesn't go off a teleprompter and he doesn't write speeches, and it's probably not good to be a politician. I can't read teleprompters. I can't read scripts. I never do it. But I hear the words in my head before they come out of my mouth. And oftentimes I'll stop or reformulate before they come out. Oftentimes I play it in my head before they come out and I say, how can anyone spin this to use it as a clip, as an attack? Gavin Newsom is an idiot. And when you want to say people say the quiet part out loud, this is him saying the quiet part out loud. Much like Hillary Clinton when she was talking about being on CP time. And that's not child pornography time. A racist concept. Just says it. Much like Hillary Clinton talking about carrying hot sauce with her drawl in her purse when she's trying to appeal to certain demographics. They let the racist out because those who run around calling everybody racist typically are the racist ones themselves. It's sort of like the reverse inverted double fakey virtue signaling. Those who go out and virtue signal the hardest typically are among the most degenerates in private life. Those who sit there and call everybody racist, probably because they're looking for racists for a little bit of company. Listen to this.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you. I'm a 960 SAT guy. and I'm not trying to offend anyone, trying to act all there if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech.
I'm like you. I can't read and I've got a 960 SAT. Holy shit, Gavin.
Maybe the wrong business to be in.
Yeah, maybe what you've done to California over the last decade is further confirmation you're in the wrong business, jackass. A government is the only business where you fail upwards. I'm just like you.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you. I'm no better than you.
I'm no better than you. I have to speak slower to make sure that you, because of my racist understanding of your intellectual capabilities, need to make sure I'm like you. I don't read. And I have a 960 SAT. What a jackass. He's the type of jackass that does things like allegedly, purportedly, pardoning criminal illegal migrants to frustrate DHS abilities to deport them. I got sent a meme and it said, someone's assessment, Gavin Newsom pardoning illegal aliens in order to frustrate their deportation, in order to make it possible for them to stay. And I said, on the one hand, initial reflexes, don't believe headlines and don't believe screenshots. It doesn't really make sense on the one hand because for once I thought initially they were talking about like pardoning them for immigration law violations, which is federal, so a state couldn't do that. But no, this is Gavin Newsom pardoning state crimes. And then the argument would be that it will make it harder for DHS to deport, or in the process of applying for green card permanent residence, they'll lose what would otherwise be an impediment to their being allowed lawful entry into these United States of America, because they won't have been convicted. They've been pardoned for attempted murder. I still think it's a bit of a lot of something for nothing, because I don't think that it makes a difference if they get pardoned on their application. That you still have to disclose this, and it'll give the DHS a good reason to say, no, we don't want people who were actually convicted, albeit pardoned, of attempted murder. From New York Post. Gavin Newsom pardons criminal illegal migrant convicted for attempted murder per DHS, by Zain Khan. California Governor Newsom pardoned a convicted attempted murderer who was an undocumented immigrant. Why are we not saying illegal alien? An undocumented immigrant. So he was an illegal alien, opening the possibility for him to stay in the country, according to U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Sambund Thaimeni was convicted of numerous charges, including attempted murder, assault with a semi-automatic firearm, assault with a firearm, and conspiracy to commit assault with a firearm, after a judge sentenced him in 1997 to 14 years to life. Now, by the way, just as a broad notion, there are exceptional cases of people who actually get reformed in jail, become exemplary citizens, study, become lawyers. And then you have other cases where they come out broken and then commit more violent crimes. There was an episode of Rogan where he had on the guy that talks about his project to rehabilitate and release wrongly convicted individuals. And there was one episode, I forget the guy's name, and it doesn't really make a difference, but it was a criminal who actually did the crime. And they got him released, and then he got out and allegedly got arrested for killing someone shortly after his release. But when it comes to potentially pardoning people who have actually successfully turned their lives around, I'm not averse to that. Sambund Thaimeni was convicted of numerous charges, including attempted murder, yada, yada, yada. Okay. In December 2025, Newsom pardoned him for transforming his life and providing, quote, evidence that he is living an upright life and has demonstrated his fitness for restoration of civic rights and responsibilities. We get into the crime here a little bit further down. DHS said the pardon allows Thaimeni to reopen immigration proceedings rather than be removed from the U.S. and will be able to remain in California communities. I'm going to have to defer to DHS on this one. Yeah, I know at the end, in the application process, you have to disclose prior convictions, even if they've been pardoned. So that would include the prior convictions for attempted murder. And at that point, DHS can say, no, thanks, you're rejected and get the hell out. Government Newsom's pardoning an illegal alien convicted of attempted murder so he can remain in our country is absolute insanity, said Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin. These are criminals. These are the criminal illegal aliens he and his sanctuary politicians are protecting. He's putting all the lives of all Americans at risk. Newsom's office blasted feds. Spare us the outrage. The same people who turned the pardon power into a rewards program. Oh, I'm sorry, Gavin. You must be talking about Joe Biden for political loyalists and the rich. Oh, you mean like the judge who got the cash for kids was pardoned? Oh, you mean like Joe Biden's entire family? This is unbelievable. They have the balls to lecture Trump, who admittedly has had some politically questionable pardons, but has had some very good ones. Ross Ulbricht, a number of other, all the Jan 6ers. Yada, yada, yada. In California, it's a transparent, rigorous legal process focused on individualized review of each applicant's rehabilitation and public safety considerations, not political favors. Thaimeni, who was 19 at the time of his conviction, lost his green card and was placed in removal proceedings and issued a final order of removal by a judge in 2019. That's six and a half years with a final removal. Gavin Newsom took away this attempted murderer's qualifying convictions that made him removable from the U.S., McLaughlin said. According to the governor's office, Thaimeni, who applied for executive clemency early last year, was a passenger in a car that pulled into a parking lot and confronted a group of rival gang members 30 years ago and was not the shooter. Thaimeni was discharged from parole with perfect record in 2023 and is now the primary caretaker for his elderly parents. He also volunteers with his Buddhist and Unitarian church communities and mentors at-risk youth. Thaimeni's pardon was backed by several elected officials, yada, yada, yada. In a separate document on social media, the governor's press office doubled down on its position. During this Lenten season, a time of repentance and forgiveness, we will continue to take our cues from religious leaders, not those who claim Christian nationalism. Not those who claim Christian nationalism but can't tell Peter from Paul, the office wrote. It's the haughty arrogance of Gavin Newsom that's the biggest problem. We will discuss this on Sunday to determine whether or not this actually is an impediment to immediate removal, and then morally and ethically what people think about it. I'm curious. Illegal alien, you would imagine, could still be deported, taking care of his parents. Curious about the whole family status. But at the end of the day, on that form, which one is it? The I-485, Section D, certified police and court records of criminal charges, arrests, and convictions. If you ever had any arrest or conviction vacated, set aside, expunged, or otherwise removed from your record anywhere in the world, you must submit an original document. But that is after they ask you to confirm if you were ever convicted or placed in an alternative sentencing or rehabilitation program anywhere in the world, including the United States. So that's that. Gavin Newsom is scum, and he's going to run for new scum. He's going to run for president, and by the competition, I mean, it's an amazing thing when you actually just think of the, I say not plausible or viable, the candidates for the Democrats, and you're reasonably looking at a mix of mass murderers between Cuomo, Whitmer, and yes, I'm calling them mass murderers for what they did during COVID. Idiots with IQs below room temperature, and that I'm thinking of AOC and Jasmine Crockett, or scoundrels and scumbags like Gavin Newsom.